One night, thousands of people in Africa saw a meteor. 2 days later, something allegedly touched down outside Ruwa, Zimbabwe. At the Ariel Primary School, 62 children came into contact with what they say were alien creatures. A large number of children, all with the same apparent story.
It was silver, and the ring around it was red.
It was red. Did light come from the whole thing, or?
There are lights around here.
Lights along the edge there. How many of the strange beings did you see?
I saw one over here. They had eyes like that, and they were kind of just like looking at us. They were like kind of astonished at what we were. Felt scared.
It felt scared? What was scary about it?
Well, I felt scared because I've never seen such a person like that before.
Mac feels the children did not experience a mass delusion, but they believe the aliens had an ominous message.
Fungi, what do you imagine is his reason for visiting Earth?
I think it's about something that's going to happen.
Something's going to happen.
What I thought was maybe the world's going to end. Maybe they're telling us the world's going to end. I think they want people to know that we're actually making harm on this world and we mustn't get too technologized.
How did that get communicated to you?
I don't know, but it just popped up in my head.
Pollution.
He never said anything. It's just that the faces, the eyes, they looked horrible.
And the eyes, the horrible look, had that information that you just told me?
Yes.
In Africa, media exposure to aliens or UFOs is limited.
Yeah.
If someone were to say, well, you know, you just have a lively imagination and you made this up, what would you say?
I haven't been influenced by any of my friends. I have seen what I've seen.
Unless you have this happen to you, it's kind of hard to explain, but suddenly a thought popped into my head.
So you think they were communicating with you telepathically?
I can't explain it any other way. I know what I experienced.
Suddenly, Stan says his mind was filled telepathically with unexplained images.
All of a sudden, bam, 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 images, thoughts, images.
And what were the images?
I had images of this horrible catastrophe, you know, winds so strong it's scouring the pavement off the earth, forests burning, devastation to the planet.
So you were seeing scenes from an apocalypse?
From some kind of apocalyptic thing. And when it was over, I'm going, when's this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is this really going to happen? Because I was pretty much in tears by this point. I was so terrified.
You're convinced that the aliens were trying to send you a message?
That's what this is all about.
We're looking at the interview suite at S4. It's kept dark for the comfort of the aliens. The figure who is just barely visible in the left foreground is the telepath, and behind the camera is a raked seating area for observers. Although in this case, I believe the only other person present was a military aide. The alien is seated behind a glass partition in a biocontainment area, which is maintained at biosafety level 2, the lowest designation. That's primarily for the protection of the aliens, not us. The theory is that if they were going to infect us with an alien bug, it would have happened 50 years ago. In fact, all the indications are the aliens eliminated microbial and viral life from their own ecosystem long ago. They aren't susceptible to our diseases directly, but it has been shown that microbes can reproduce and form colonies within their respiratory systems, which tends to exacerbate the debilities they seem to suffer anyway in our environment. In fact, you can see here the alien is beginning to flag. The interview was not going well. The telepath was trying to clarify some points from a previous interview, but he wasn't receiving coherent responses. As you can see, the being is in real distress. At this point, the telepath is sending out a message to the medical staff. He's trying to communicate with the alien, but he's getting no response. There's very little he can do. There's no direct connection between his space and the biocontainment area. That's the aide stepping in on the right. The medical staff should be there by now. They're slow in responding. There they are. I have to say the medical personnel at S4 are less than first rate. They tend to be selected for their willingness to keep secrets. Rather, by the way, he's not shining that light into the eyes. It looks that way, but in fact he's checking for hemorrhaging around the eye sockets and in the nasal cavity.
The Air Force no longer does any investigation of UFOs. We have researched the Air Force projects and the Air Force information for these year groups. We have nothing else to say about them. You know, we don't believe there's anything else. I have no way of even vaguely believing there's anything else.
Do you believe in UFOs?
Personally, no, sir.
Why not?
Ma'am, I have no reason to believe that they're real.
Do you think it's possible that it was from another world?
My Air Force training says I can't think that way, okay?
I was there. I saw the film with my own eyes. I'm not lying. Why would I? I'm a university professor with a PhD and a lot of years of good, respectful research. It was shaped like two saucers put together with a golf ball on top, and it fired a beam that we assumed was a plasma beam at a dummy warhead and knocked it out of space. Tell me what happened. Tell me who did that. Tell me in 1964 who had that technology, pal. Not us, and not the Russians, and nobody I know of. In 1964, you were trying to figure out what girls were. I was in the service in a scientific capacity.
So, sir, you can attack me.
Get off your skeptic high horse, pal.
Well, it just doesn't.
You're attacking us. You're the one who's making ad hominem attacks and saying that's quite a step. You bet it's quite a step.
Once again, the Cirrus is part of the AFP 675. The problems that have occurred with the two tape recorders on AFP 675.
There it is. Oh, I got it. I don't know what the hell it is.
Symington is now a businessman. He was the Republican governor of Arizona for 6 years, elected when the first George Bush was president. Now, a decade after leaving the State House, he takes me to a Phoenix park and discloses something unlike anything uttered by any other high-level U.S. politician.
If you had been here 10 years ago and standing out here and looking up there at the lights and the view, you would have been astounded. You would have been amazed.
Governor Symington is referring to what is now known as the Phoenix Lights, an object videotaped by many and seen by thousands over several nights in the Arizona sky in 1997.
Major sighting here.
It was described by witnesses as larger than a football field and silent.
It was a giant V, all right? And the right side of the V went over us. The left side was like a couple blocks over it.
We just didn't know what to do. You know, it was just like, my God, how big is this thing?
The great state of Arizona, Fife Symington.
The former governor, a Vietnam Air Force veteran, had never publicly acknowledged seeing it until now.
And I suspect that unless the Defense Department proves us otherwise, that it was probably some form of an alien spacecraft.
So why didn't he say anything then? Partly, he says, because he didn't want people to panic.
I think as a public figure you have to be very careful about what you say, because people can have pretty emotional reactions, and I said my goal wasn't to try to stir the pot.
Bizarre, Jaime and I are very disconcerted. This is another fleet.
This is another fleet, 5 of December.
Black objects. Maybe in this fleet happened the same thing, that the sun is on the back.
The sun is on the other side. When the
That's
sun
why
is
you
on the
can
other
see,
side,
yes.
They look black.
But as you can see, the formation all the time is preserved, no mistake, and the UFO
now,
but wait.
As Santiago said, this is really, really, weird.